Hey, good morning. Dominic Steele, Daily Bible Time, and Thursday morning. It has been such a big week at Village Church. We had gingerbread and wreath making night 2 last night. We've gone this year from running 2 of these evenings to 5, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and then Saturday afternoon a kids one, and they've all sold out. And so it's just got bigger and bigger, and we're very excited about the opportunity. And I had the opportunity on Tuesday night and again last night to be able to pointing people to the meaning of the birth, death and resurrection of Jesus. And do be in prayer for tonight's one. I just saw the message. Liam and Fiona are out at the flower markets buying more wreaths and flowers for tonight's big event, and it's just going to be another great night at church. Now, what is Jesus saying here? Daily Bible Time, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, for them I received from the Lord what I passed on to you. The Lord Jesus, on the night he was betrayed, took bread, and when he'd given thanks, he broke it and said, "This is my body, which is for you. Do this in remembrance of me." In the same way, after supper, he took the cup, saying, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood. Do this whenever you drink it in remembrance of me." And we noted yesterday that what I think Jesus is meaning is that the breaking of this bread, the pouring out of this cup, represents that his body was smashed for you on your behalf, in your place, as your substitute, to make atonement for you. But also, when he says, "This is my body broken for you," well, he's saying this is a new covenant. This is a new contract. This is a new arrangement. And it's really saying, Jesus saying there's a new deal, a whole new deal in terms of relationship with God, established by his body being broken and his blood being shed. Then verse 26, the Apostle Paul gives a conclusion. And remember, Paul had been saying your meetings do more harm than good. Why do they do more harm than good? Well, this is how meetings were supposed to be. And Paul reminds the Corinthians, verse 26, for whenever, and this is how he expects Christian meetings to be. He expects us to have our Christian meetings like this. Whenever you do it, whenever the supper is celebrated in remembrance of him, in remembrance of Jesus. And so when he says whenever, he's saying on a regularity, as if it happens regularly, more frequently, for example, than once a year, like the Passover supper. Whenever you eat this bread and drink this cup, whenever you do that, what you're doing is you proclaim the Lord's death till he comes. That's what you're doing. When we meet, whenever we meet to celebrate the Lord's Supper, we are proclaiming the Lord's death till he comes. Just noted, Jesus hasn't stayed dead. We're waiting for Jesus to come. Jesus is not still on the cross. Some denominations have pictures of Jesus still hanging on the cross. That's a mistake, to have a crucifix with Jesus still. Have a theological error. He's a risen Jesus. Jesus is risen and will return. The Lord's Supper, therefore, I take it, should have a longing for Jesus' return aspect as we look forward to his coming. And so when I celebrate the Lord's Supper at Village, I try to have a longing aspect in the presentation. It should not have the somber mood of the 3 days between Friday and Sunday when the body was broken and there was no sense of victory. The Lord's Supper should have a celebratory mood of the body has been broken, but is now risen and will come again. And what we should be doing when we celebrate the Lord's Supper is we should both involve the proclaiming of the body broken for us and the proclaiming of he's coming back, he's coming again. I was remembering a moment when England played Australia in sport and they beat us. It was a massively big deal back in England. They'd won the World Cup, but they hadn't yet personally congratulated their team because their team was still on the plane back from Australia. The mood is longing for the day when we see the team again and we can personally say to our team, well done for beating the Aussies. Well, we had the Lord's Supper at our church and people came to get bread and wine and the mood felt so somber once, and I want to say, no, that's not the mood we should have. We should have a mood of victory. Victory has been won for us, and celebrate that. We're celebrating the Lord's Supper. Thanks for being with us on Daily Bible Time today. Look forward to your company tomorrow morning.